Hey guys, it's Akira. How to manage life's regrets. Which statement is true and which is false? Regret is essential to shaping our futures, or it's best to live a life with no regrets. For years, I believed in the second statement. I thought that living a life no regrets was the way to go and the only path toward true personal freedom. I thought to myself, I don't want to be shackled by my past by thinking about everything wrong that I have done or said. I don't want to focus on those regrets so that I can't move forward. However, once I applied this way of thinking my life to my life, I sensed a change. There was something I couldn't quite put my finger on that was happening, something different. I found that I was living life a bit more risklessly, protecting myself behind the statement of living a life with no regrets. I thought that living a life of no regrets was the same as living a life with no rules. I would do that what I want, when I want it, and hid behind the shield I had created. For me, this was a momentary solution to a greater problem. I was running away from reality. How many of us have applied the first statement to our lives? Regret can be essential to shaping our future, for helping us avoid the mistakes we made before. But what if we are living our lives controlled by avoiding past regrets? When we allow regrets to take up space in our brains, we are giving a valuable real estate. We are preventing ourselves from advancing forward, and essentially we are stuck in the past. It's time that we change our habits. It's time we get back to the future. In my research on this topic, I came across several interesting studies that look at the feeling of regret through a scientific lens. According to a German study published earlier this year in Science magazine, the feeling of regret depends on a sense of responsibility for an event. Healthy, older individuals tend to disengage from a sense of personal control. Instead of saying, "It was my fault, I screwed up," they say, "Screw it, it's not my fault," and they feel better for it. I used to believe that regret came from when my life was the hardest, when I was experiencing hardship at my work and in my family, but another study proved me wrong. I learned from another study in the Week magazine that opportunity breeds regret. Feeling of dissatisfaction and disappointment are strongest where the chances for corrective reaction are clearest. What can we learn from these two examples? Is it that regret is around every corner? Yes, but how do we manage it so we can move on with our lives? It's time we all live in the present. It's time we all let go of what's hurting us. It's time we all became invested in tomorrow instead of focusing on what happened today or yesterday. Forget about the past. Focus on your present and your future will be secure. Gandhi Singh said that, and it's a motto I try to keep close to me every day. Here's a couple of tips that have helped me navigate my regret in life. Count your blessing. No, seriously. Sometimes I find myself in a deep regret spiral. When this happens, I take out a piece of paper and a pen and I pretend it's Thanksgiving and write out what I'm thankful for. It sounds like a little silly, but it always works. By physically writing out the positive things happening in your life, it forces you to think them in a more detailed way. 2. Pretend to throw it away. If you still find yourself dwelling on the past, use the same pad of paper and a pen from the previous step and write out what's hurting you. Write it as detailed as you can, and then quickly curl it up into a ball and toss it in the trash. Even though this can be seen as a metaphorical release from the constraints of regret, it will help take you one step closer to finally letting go. Number 3, make plans for your future. Start small and then go big with your plans. What do you want to be doing this time tomorrow? Next week? Next month? Next year? Start to build a timeline that gets broader and broader and more detailed. By getting exciting for all you can accomplish in the future, you realize there is no room to include your past mistakes into the mix. Thanks, and take care of yourself. Akira.